Howdy partners, are you hungrier than a hog monkey? Well then come on through to the Pizza Pin where we'll feed you pizza in the pin. Do you feel like you were born of the wrong generation? Do you have a deep feeling inside you that tells you should have been out in the fields herding the goats and sheep and foraging for berries and mushroom in the woods, churning butter on the stick and washing your clothes in a tub? Well, if that is your personality type, I encourage you to get a therapist and then come to the Pizza Pin, because we will feed you and supply all of your basic needs as a human, including what you think I'm thinking of. That's right, folks, we have ice cream, the biggest necessity to anybody who might live in America or potentially the whole entire world. But yeah, welcome back to Planet Coaster, y'all. We've just been touring the Pizza Pin, which is the restaurant we've been building for the past 2 episodes, and we're still not done. This place doesn't even have a roof yet. And I'm not going to build it right now because we still have a lot of detail to do on everything in this entire area. I just wanted to spend a couple episodes working on a single structure so you guys could see the type of detail we're going to be diving into. Now, first thing I want to do is build a station for this coaster, which is broken down, so let's hire some staff real quick so the basic needs of our theme park can be met with some NPC technology. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to be surrounding our queue and our station with some basic walls. Nothing too fancy, because we're going to do something that's going to be a bit of a quicker way to build structures. Because we're going to be doing a little trick to make building the structure a bit more natural. And freaking A, man, look at this line. It's filling up so fast. They're so excited. I'm gonna have to cool them down by pausing the game because they're stressing me out. There's too many ants in here. Oh, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies thinking about ants. The reason I'm staying basic with these walls and floors right now is because I'm just trying to separate the paths in a general sense. Because I'm gonna use the terrain tool to actually build the walls and ceilings above this. I'm gonna create a mine. We're gonna add some mine carts and tracks and stuff like that inside the rooms. But the goal was to turn it into a cave, and I just put in some basic wall structure framework to separate some of the different sections because the terrain wouldn't do 100% of the work. But this game is cool with the way you can turn auto tunneling on and off. It allows you to do a lot of cool stuff underground, and I think building stuff underground is so much fun. It's been a feature that's existed since the very first Roller Coaster Tycoon game, being able to build rides and paths underground. But being able to build stuff underground in a game like this, where it's in 3D and you have total control over everything, it just hits so much harder. But speaking of the original Roller Coaster Tycoon, I actually just uploaded a video on it that you can watch where I play the first scenario of that game. And a new mod called Open RCT 2, which combines Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2 and then adds a lot of new features and quality of life improvements, along with online multiplayer. If you want to check out that video, we'll have it on screen in the description. Definitely a really cool video, and if people like it, I'll possibly make more videos on Roller Coaster Tycoon in the future. But you guys see how this worked out? How this is all like underground now? And later we're going to come through and add some more details and scenery. But right now I'm just trying to make sure everything looks contained and natural. Because I'd rather focus on the outdoor section first, and then later we'll come in and decorate the inside. But let's just make sure there's no grass in here and we can smooth out all the terrain and just make it look a bit more cavey. Is cavey a good adjective? I don't know, it sounds suggestive almost. Hey, you're looking really cavey today. What? That doesn't make sense. Dang, so many people waiting in line. But this is a freaking awesome roller coaster. Like, I can't wait until we're done adding all the finishing touches to it. And as a reminder, this coaster is named Steel Express, and it's gonna have a steampunk theme. So later I gotta come through and also add some pipes with steam coming out of it, because that's what steampunk is, right? Steamy pipes. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have a bridge come out from the second floor of the Pizza Pin, and it's gonna cross the path and come over and create a second level that crosses over the path leading into the entrance of the Steel Express. I wanted this area to feel almost a little bit claustrophobic, because that's sort of how old Western mines were. They weren't built with space and much optimization. Everything felt close and tight together. And I wanted to make it claustrophobic because I plan to build a small mountainside in here, and if you're closer up to it, it feels taller than if you're far away and have a lot more space to look at it. And I didn't want it to be too big because it is indoors and we're gonna have a ceiling over this. So I wanted it to kind of force some perspective and keep things tight so everything felt a lot larger than it was. And I'm creating some pools of water because I do intend to have some more waterfalls. Indoor waterfalls are A+ tier, we gotta have them. It is time for yet another ride. Wow, I didn't think it would happen. I forgot we were building a theme park for a second. This time we're gonna build a kickflip, which is the type of ride I've only seen at fairs, but I picked it because it looks like a piece of machinery you would see at a mine. It reminds me of one of those contraptions that is used to pick up large amounts of rock and bring them to the top of a cliff. A good old rock tumbler. But with that thing placed, let's continue shaping up this hillside. And the cool thing about the terrain tool in this game is you can use it to craft a lot of different things. Like you could use this as just a 3D modeling clay and create different characters or shapes or objects. I've seen people create some really weird characters in this game with the terrain tool. So we got our waterfall over here now, splash-a-lashing. And then I want to dig down right here and have the water go underneath the path so it becomes sort of a bridge. Everything is ship-shaping up as it should be. And now let's extend our wall so we can sort of see how the building is going to fit around this. I think on this spot we'll just have a flat wall go all the way across. We'll add some details and windows in a bit, but it seems like things are going to fit in here quite well. I'm happy with it. It's a bit more interesting this time with our limitations, trying to keep our brain in this mindset of that everything we're building is going to be indoors. So how do we play along with that element to get maximum results? Having constraints on your builds allows you to get more creative in specific ways that you would never have without those constraints. That's why I like my Planet Coaster series where we build the tiny park so much, because having no space whatsoever really showed me how much you can stack upwards and build downwards and how condensed you can make everything in Planet Coaster. And that's something I want to apply when building this indoor theme park, because I don't want to make this building too big. I want to make it a smaller size and really make the best use of my space possible, because I think that will lead to a much cooler and interesting and fun park to explore, rather than making the building just gigantic for no reason. Now we definitely gotta add some windows to this wall, bring in the natural light. And I like how the windows are here at the top of the mountain and the rest of the wall is blocked off by the mountain in the first place. So when you're inside, you can barely even tell that you're inside. Got a nice little jigsaw pattern happening. And then we have the monorail out here, just sitting, watching us do this construction, hoping that we don't forget about him. Don't worry, little guy, we didn't forget about you. We gotta make sure he pops through this building because a lot of the scenery is dependent on where this monorail is located, and I want to build around it. I love how many different layers this section has though. It's got a lot of depth. Next on the agenda is let's talk about the comment question of last episode, where I asked you guys to let me know about some coasters that have opened up recently or are opening up soon near you. This comment is getting excited about Wildcat's Revenge in Hershey Park, which I have seen a video of this coaster, and it's an RMC hybrid by RMC Rocky Mountain Construction, the GOATs. And this ride has such a gnarly layout. It looks so much fun. It whips around some of these crazy turns, like, ah! I want to ride it so bad. Back in Kansas City, Missouri, about 3 hours away from where I grew up, Springfield, Missouri, there is a theme park called Worlds of Fun, and they just reopened a roller coaster that was built there when they originally opened. It was an original coaster that then got torn down. This year, this summer in 2023, they rebuilt the coaster and made it way, way better and paid homage to the original design while making it even better. One of the coolest things, it's a wooden hybrid coaster with a spiral lift hill, which just looks super duper unique. And it's called the Zimbazi Zinger, and it's in the African theme section of the theme park. And next time I go back to Missouri, I really want to ride it. Actually, it looks really fun. There's 2 new roller coasters coming in the UK. One's an indoor coaster at Alton Towers with a codename of Project Horizon, and a coaster in Thorpe Park called Project Exodus. Excited for my Europeans, and I hope I can go over there and experience your amazing theme park someday. In Holiday World of Indiana, they're opening up a coaster that has one of the funniest names I've ever heard. It's called Good Gravy. Amazing name. I don't even know how to react. In Cedar Point, they closed down Top Thrill Dragster, which is sad, but they announced they're reopening it and naming it Top Thrill Dragster 2. Interesting. Apparently it was unreliable for the train to go over the top hat with a singular launch. So now the coaster has a triple launch. It launches forward, goes about a third of the way up the top hat, then it launches backwards and it goes up a big incline, and then it launches forwards a third time to get enough speed to go over the top hat. And it's kind of cool because it makes the ride last longer and it has more launches, but the only downside is it takes away the insanity of having the initial launch be enough momentum to get you over that top hat. But at least we're keeping it, and it's still going to be an awesome ride with a crazy, crazy height up in the air. There's also some new coasters at that theme park that's being built by Mattel down in Arizona, and they're going to be themed after Hot Wheels, which I think is a pretty cool thing to theme a coaster after, because Hot Wheel tracks are pretty much like roller coasters if you think about it. And then there's some news, which I'm not sure if this is a rumor or not, but there is resources online that suggest that it's true. They're building a Six Flags in Saudi Arabia, and I don't know exactly if this is real or not, because some of the blueprints I've seen look almost too good to be true, and this looks like it's going to be a crazy, amazing theme park. And if it is real, I'm excited for it, and maybe it'll be something that could actually possibly drive some tourism to Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure if it's a very hot tourist destination right now. Well, it is hot, like it's very hot weather-wise. And the political climate is very hot as well. Quite a bit of tension, which is why I think it's not necessarily a popular tourist destination. But hey, they gotta build some stuff if they ever wanna change their reputation and attract tourists. So I hope this theme park becomes real. But yeah, thank you guys for your comments, and let me know if you guys hear any theme park news. I want to be the first to hear it. Now, I love the bridge that goes over the path here. I think it really helps tie in the entrance to this wing of the building. And then on the coaster exit, where the coaster is coming down, I plan to build a gift shop there where you can buy your ride photo, because that is something that like every theme park has, is being able to buy your ride photo. Now that's actually not a feature in Planet Coaster, so I hope they add that in the future, but we can still create a fake spot. That's not going to happen this episode, but in the future we're going to go in and build a larger room with a gift shop and the ride photo section. And that's something I'm going to try to do on the exit of most of our big rides in this park, is have a gift shop section. And maybe even some merch for the roller coasters that we can put in those fake gift shops. That'd be funny. And what I created here is I created a big long ramp leading up to this upper section. Just in case people can't go upstairs, having a ramp is always a nice option. And it's good to have multiple outlets. And it's going to climb all the way to the top of the hill where we're going to have a little restaurant. And it's going to connect back up to the path that we have back at the entrance near the stairs. We'll have it all come together and stay connected. That way the guests have multiple ways to get around the park and continue their flow. We gotta keep the guests circulating. Now real quick, let's go ahead and have a comment question of the day again, because I love being able to interact with y'all in the comments. Gonna be a bit more personal, but I'm curious to know, what are your goals before the year ends? Because it's September, we're about to enter October, and we're running out of time for the year, so what are you trying to finish before this year ends? For me, I'd like to finish around 30 episodes of the indoor theme park, start and finish Zooter 5, complete a Skyward Sword randomizer on my second channel, Y2Can, and do another stream marathon before the end of the year and finish playing all the game requests that people in the 2 clan have given me. And outside of content creation, I pretty much want to completely get rid of the rest of my debt, which might be a little bit ambitious of a goal for the end of 2023. And I have another job at a art studio in Los Angeles, and I'm actually have gotten approval to be potentially doing a content creation camp there on how to be a YouTube content creator and Twitch streamer. And I am putting together a curriculum on how that camp is going to be run. But I will be opening up admission in the near future, so if you're interested in learning in person on how to be a content creator for a week, stay tuned for those details. Now, at the top of this hill, I put a pre-built chicken restaurant with the Wild West theme, and I'm going to put some other decorative little Western buildings up here. That way, when you look at the hill from the very, very bottom, you'll still see some buildings and you'll think to yourself, wow, I wonder what's up there. And then you'll have to scratch your curiosity and walk your tush up there and see what's up. And since it's a pretty far walk with a lot of elevation, you'll probably work up an appetite and buy some of our chicken tenders. And you best know that we have some of the best sauce in the game. And that is going to be it for this episode. There's going to be much more detailing next episode, and we'll finally put a roof on the pizza pin. But for now, we're going to close out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next episode. Don't act like you're not hooked. I know you're hooked. This stuff is like crack.